Hello, and welcome to Financials Podcast Future Rich. I'm your host, Barbara Ginty, and I'm also a CFP, which is a Certified Financial Planner. And I'm here to welcome you to Season 9. So we took our winter break, which is a little longer than usual because this winter I am having a baby, and so we needed a little more time off. So hopefully everyone understands, but we are ready to get back at it, and I got a lot recorded over our winter break. So we are going to start off the season a little differently than usual. But first of all, I want to thank all of our longtime listeners for listening. I can't believe this is season 9. It's unbelievable. We actually started when we did our first few episodes, probably our first 16, I would say. We did them in person, and people would come and meet us at the WeWork space I was at and record in person with us. So we meet strangers. And we would have I think at the time we had coffee and donuts, and then you could come in and sit with me in the conference room, and we would record the conversation. So we've come a long way since then. Now we have women who come and join the show from all over the country, which is really exciting. And as you notice, we have all ages. So we will begin recording again, hopefully in May. And so if you're interested in coming on the show, we would love to have you. The requirements to be on the show are to be a female, and that's really it. But we are looking to expand the ages. We've done a lot with people in their 20s and 30s, but that is not to say that if you are in your late 30s, 40s, or 50s, we would love to have you on, even your 60s. I do a lot of retirement planning in my day job, and a lot of estate planning in my day job, or I work a lot with estate planning attorneys in my day job, I should say, because I'm not an attorney. As we all know, Natasha is an attorney. And so if you listen to the podcast and are interested in coming on, we would love to have you. You can fill out a submission on our website, which is www.futurerichpodcast.com. Or you could always send us a message on Instagram. We check our Instagram messages regularly. So you can always shoot us a message on Instagram if you are interested in coming on and you wanted to ask some more questions. But being a guest on the show is completely anonymous and it's remote. So we just send you a link to join the call. We often leave video on just as it's a little easier to have a conversation, but you could also have video off. And so you just really need to just have good internet and a quiet location for us to chat. And then that's about it. It's like pretty easy. So if you're interested in coming on the show, we'll start recording again in May. And I forget how many slots we have. But as of now, we have a decent amount of slots left. So if you are interested, you can fill out your submission and we can get you on the list for our next recording date. That being said, we've had a lot of really great guests that I've already recorded with that are going to start airing next week. This is just to let you know we're back, and it's going to be all new episodes. We are going to start off our season a little differently. We had done this back in the day. I think it was 2021, actually. We had done what we called Wine Wednesday, and I would talk about a specific topic, more of an educational, shorter, digestible podcast rather than a long conversation with somebody. And so now that we recorded the next around, I guess, 9 weeks of episodes, I wanted to just refresh those, what I would call explainer podcasts. They're short. They're probably around 7 minutes each. So we're going to start out this season by airing those over the next 3 Fridays. And it's going to be about the traditional IRA, the Roth IRA, and the non-deductible IRA. And those will be 3 vehicles that you will hear me talk about with the guests who come on the show. We also have 3 experts coming on, 3 women that I think you'll find very helpful. One, we talk about infertility with a very exciting guest. And so for those of you going through that, I think that will be a really great episode. And then I would highly encourage you to follow that podcast as well. There's a lot of really great resources on that podcast with that host. And then we also are going to talk about starting a business and what that looks like and what happens if it doesn't go the way you planned. I think we talk a lot about on the show side hustles. And so I think starting a business is a great idea and it takes a lot of guts to do it. but I don't think what happens when it doesn't work is talked about enough. And so we got a really wonderful founder to come on and talk about um, why she started her business and what happened. And then we have another female business owner who came on who talked about financial scams, specifically in the startup space. And that seems to be a really newer trend. I had not heard about that previously. We have talked about financial crimes, financial scams in other capacities. If you remember, I had a woman on who writes for The Cut, and she was scammed and she talked about what happened. And obviously, that is a $1 billion industry. I hadn't heard about it in the startup space. So I thought that is a really interesting conversation that you'll get to listen to about why they're targeting startup founders. So if you're a startup founder, I would absolutely check that one out, because the more you know, the easier it is to protect yourself. And so we have a lot of really exciting things coming up for this season. If there's something that you want to learn about that we haven't discussed, we love to hear from all of our listeners. As I said, you can write in on our website or send us a message on Instagram. But we absolutely can tweak content if there's something you'd like to learn about that you haven't, or if you want to come on and talk about your own situation. And so for all our lovely listeners, we really appreciate all the support. I can't believe we're in our 9th season. If you do like the show and you are a listener, the best thing you can do to help us, it's Alex, Amy, and myself that produce the show. We all do this nights and weekends. So the best thing you can do is share this with a friend, someone else that you think would benefit from listening to our podcast. And you can rate and review us. I would super appreciate if everyone could rate and review us. You can do that now both on Spotify and also on Apple. So whatever is your preference, if you could give us some stars, and if you feel so inclined to write us a review, but even if you just rate us, that would be hugely helpful for our podcast. We've been doing it for 9 years. We do it nights and weekends, and we do it specifically to help improve financial literacy and to provide a non-judgmental space to talk about your finances and help you all reach your goals, because ultimately I would like to help you all become future rich and live your best life, which would allow you financial freedom, whatever that looks like for you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being such amazing followers and listeners, and for all of you who've come on the show. And so we're really excited to bring you season 9 starting next week. Time for our disclaimer. The opinions voiced in this podcast are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance references are historical and do not guarantee future results. Make sure that you consult with your own legal, tax, and/or financial advisor before making any decisions.